Hey, today I'm going to talk about 3 movies that I rented, and their titles are Bless the Beasts and Children, The Black Book of Father Dinis, and Sabrina. First up is Bless the Beast and Children. This is a 1971 movie recommended to me by my dad. The other day I was having dinner over at my parents' house and we were talking about how much I loved Love Story, which you should totally watch. And so they started recommending some other 70s movies, and I had seen a lot of the ones that they had mentioned, but then my dad brought up this movie and I was like, this looks interesting. It was rentable for really cheap on Amazon, so I was like, yeah, I'll go for it. And I was legit kind of blown away by this movie. It's really good. The premise is it's about a group of teenage boys who are at a summer camp. They're all misfits and outcasts. And it's about, it's kind of like a coming of age story, but it's also like a road trip movie and also a little bit of a summer camp movie. It was really, really well done. Each of the characters were really well defined. They all had interesting and tragic backstories. The story itself was great, the character development, what their goal is, and it was told in such a good way. Like, they did a great job of show, don't tell. They just kept showing us stuff instead of just explaining, oh, he is troubled because of this thing. We actually, saw all the things that kind of, help form them. Yeah, I was not expecting it to like it nearly as much as I did. It is a little dated, being a 50-year-old movie. The music is very 70s. I believe a lot of it is done by the Carpenters. They definitely do the title song. Even though I do like the Carpenters a lot, their stuff in this movie is that type of music that kind of just like cuts right through me and puts me to sleep. Thankfully, I didn't fall asleep during this movie because I would have been actually really disappointed because it's really good. So yeah, I'm really happy my dad showed me this movie. I recommend it to everyone. It's just a great teenager film. Like, if you're actually a teenager, like, it helps also just show you that like teenagers are they've always been the same. Like, even though 50 years ago feels like several lifetimes ago, teenagers in 1971 are the same as teenagers today and go through the same sorts of struggles. And it's great. Yeah, it's a really solid movie. Next up is The Black Book of Father Dinis. This is a 2018 Portuguese movie. The whole reason I wanted to watch it is because Lou DeLarge is in it, and I just have a mega crush on her. She's, pretty, and a really talented actor. I didn't know going into this movie that it's sort of a sequel to a different movie. So let me explain that surprisingly confusing fact. Originally, in 1854, this book was released. And then in 2010, this guy released this movie, which is 4.5 hours long. And in some countries, it was released as a TV show, as like a mini series. So it was broken up into like hour-long chunks. And then he is married to this woman who, after he passed away in 2011-ish, 7 years later, she released this movie, the one we're talking about. And I don't know if the 2018 movie is actually based on anything from the 1854 book, but as far as I can tell, just kind of lightly reading some of the stuff on Wikipedia about the 2010 movie, one of the main characters is Father Dinis, and he has a black book, and it's really relevant to everything. Going back to this movie, I don't think Father Dinis is actually in it. The Black Book is in it, and it's sort of important. It tells the backstory of one of the characters, which, spoilers, we never actually got to see or hear about, though the main character did. What's the premise of this movie? Good question. It is, I don't know, you're basically just following this nanny as she lives her life. It's basically a soap opera because of just how ridiculous some of the plots get, and just there's some not good acting. Lou does great, she does really solid, but some of the other actors just are they made choices. Yeah, this movie was ridiculous and over the top and a little hard to follow. I still enjoyed it, I still liked it. It's just, I maybe should have watched the other one first, but again, I didn't know that this movie was sort of a sequel to the other movie, so how was I supposed to know? It doesn't say on IMDb or on Wikipedia. So yeah, it is good, but I don't recommend it. unless you really want like a soap opera in French and set in the around the French Revolution, whatever that was. I forget years. And lastly is Sabrina. This is a 1954 movie starring Audrey Hepburn, my third one of her this year. And the basic premise is it's a rom-com and it's cute and adorable, except for the fact that Audrey Hepburn's main love interest, Humphrey Bogart, is 30 plus years older than her. He's so old in this. And to make it even worse is that the actor that portrays Audrey Hepburn's dad is 3 years younger than her love interest. Why? This is really making me not want to watch movies from the 50s, because this has just happened way too many times. I hate it. The movie's cute though. There's lots of stuff I liked in it. I ended up putting it in the liked category. That lots of like her entourage are really funny. There's lots of really cute moments. And I did like the basis of the story. Audrey Hepburn just plays like a lovesick 20-something. And she's actually obsessed with a different guy who's 11 years older than her. But then she eventually falls for the man who could be her father. It was a cute movie, though very, very frustrating. I need to do more research before watching older movies, just because I'm just sick of it. I am just so sick of watching old, wrinkly men get with beautiful young women. It's just weird. Ugh. Audrey Hepburn is super adorable in this, though. I love how short her hair is. Like, her hair is just incredibly short. That blew me away for a 1950s movie. Wow. Yeah. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up is Bless the Beasts and Children. It is sitting at number 7 in the really liked category. It was hard for me to kind of place it exactly, but I was like, it's definitely up there. I think it's just below Lawrence of Arabia. I couldn't quite put it over there. And I think part of that actually had to do with just like the cinematography. The cinematography in Lawrence is incredible, and in Bless the Beasts, it's fine, it works. There's just a lot of like day for night shots that just don't work at all. So that's the only reason why I didn't put it above Lawrence of Arabia. I connected with it more than Lawrence of Arabia though, that's for sure. Second is Black Book. That's in at number 41 in the liked category. And then bringing up the rear is Sabrina, sitting at number 42 in the liked category. I like to not have movies that I watch next to each other or next to each other on the rankings if I can. Just because, I am kind of subconsciously just comparing them more because I just watched them. But honestly, just with everything that was around in that area, I was like, no, they got to be right next to each other. That's the only way this works. And that is out of a total of 69 movies so far this year. I know I said 69 movies last time, but I didn't look it up, and it's fun to say 69, so I'm not judging my past self for not putting in effort or fixing it. So, yeah.